So, this is part two of um, our adoption journey, counting the costs. And the second portion is going to be about the financial part of our second adoption, in which we use a consulting agency or consultant services. So, with the consulting service, we were required to sign an 18-month contract with them. And that 18-month contract was $3,500. And that also was basically their application fee and their services included with that $3,500. Um, so within that 18 months, we were actually matched 8 months into the contract. So the contract ended up ending. So once you're matched, your contract ends because it's only good for one match. So the contract ended, and basically their services ended. Now the twist to that is um, we ended up signing a contract with the adoption agency that the expecting mother was a client of. And that's how some consultant services work. So they are basically the middle person. So they network with various adoption agencies. And most of the time, consulting services have a small pool of waiting or hopeful adoptive parents. And some private adoption agencies have a larger pool of clients or waiting adoptive parents. So, what the consultant services do, they would bring on or network with certain adoption agencies, and those agencies would send its expecting mothers their way, saying, hey, we have an expecting mother, or hey, we have three expecting mothers. And then the consulting agency would contact their pool of waiting adoptive parents and say, hey, we have three expecting mothers. Here is their profile or their case. Would you like us to show them your profile, or vice versa? So that's basically how it works. So the expecting mother was actually with an adoption agency, but the adoption agency was networking with the consulting um, services. I hope that makes sense. So back to the story. So we ended up signing a contract with the adoption agency that the expecting mother was a client of. So once we signed a contract with the adoption agency, then we had to pay agency fees. But we were aware of those fees through the consulting services. When they tell you about an expecting mother, they also tell you, if she selects you, this is the expense of everything that's required of this adoption agency. So we weren't surprised by how much that it costs. Um, so the adoption agency required $23,500, and that was upfront. Um, and this included her attorney fees and my attorney fees, and the fees of the agency as well. And then there were expecting mother fees. This expecting mother required quite a bit of attention and quite a bit of care. So her expenses were $20,000. So the total for our second adoption was about $46,000, $46,500. And yes, that is a very, very big number. Once again, we were aware of that number, so it did not catch us by surprise. Um, so if you want to know how we financed our second adoption, at the same time that we were going through and financing our first adoption. Let me know if you want to know. I don't want to make these videos so long that you're bored. And I'll share that information with you. If you want to know how we were comfortable knowing that the expecting mother was receiving the expenses or the monies that we were sending to her, and what did the agency do to inform us that she was getting that money and spending it on necessities. Let me know in the comments and I will share that with you also. If you want to know the services the consultants provided, or how they sent expecting mom cases to the waiting families from other adoption agencies to their pool of waiting clients, just let me know. And again, I will share that with you. And if you can think of any other questions, or something that you want to know about our second adoption, again, drop them in the comments. Let me know. So, this was my experience, and this was the cost of our adoption. And once again, everything varies so much. So, thank you for listening, and let me know what you think about the video, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will make another video and respond to you. So, all right, bye bye. Counting the cost.